guys, it's Hannah and I'm here today with my June wrap-up and my July TBR. So as you guys just saw, today I'm doing my June wrap-up and my July TBR, so let's get on into my June wrap-up. I didn't have so good of a reading month. I really started off the month strong and then tapered off, and then I forced myself to read, and that only worked for a very short time, and it just kind of dwindled. So it's going to be a fast wrap up, so let's get on into it. So the first books I read in June were, I was done reading them with Gabby over Gab's About Books. I highly recommend checking her out. If you like my channel, you will love her too. So we picked out the selection series. This is where I put my notes, just ignore that. So this one, these are rereads for me, and these are one of my favorite book series because it's so nostalgic, because it got me back into reading. And so they were originally 5 out of 5 stars, and everybody tended to hate on America, so me rereading them, I gotta see it with fresh perspective. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars, and it lost points on predictability. I know it's a reread, but it was also predictable before, but I was just enjoying it so much that I didn't dock it. Here's my arguments for America being annoying, because everybody says she's annoying. In this book, if you guys haven't heard of the selection series, it's basically like The Bachelor The Bachelor with a bunch of girls plus a crown and a title that you're fighting for your whole country. Plus there's a teensy bit of dystopian in there because of the world they're in. So with this, everybody says that she's annoying because there is a love triangle in here, and everybody has been ever since I think Twilight, people have been really hating on love triangles. So here is my defense for America. She's an 18-year-old girl. Think of yourself back in 18. Did you, know the path that you wanted to go on and know who you wanted to marry? Even now, do you know who you want to marry? That's a huge decision, so the fact that she was finicky and going back and forth between the, guys and trying to figure out her life, leave America alone. It's you can't expect her to know everything. The part to make her real in books is that she has flaws. So the fact that she can't figure out which side she likes better, or the connections, and figure out her love for one another, it takes time, right? Just like in real life, it takes time. So that's why America does not bother me. I also picked up the second one, and the second one I gave 4 out of 5 stars this time too, because she was still really finicky. Now I just said don't hate her for it. I'm not hating her for it. I just think that there was a point where she very much had a side to pick, and she was very much leaning towards one side, and she was so unwilling to trust in this that it drew it out just a smidgen too long. But I still understand her point of view. So 4 out of 5 stars for this one, and then I stuck with 5 out of 5 stars for the one. Too many feels not to give it 5 out of 5 stars. I recommend picking up this series. It's a fun, fast read, and it's just a good enjoyment series. So if you like contemporaries, if you like bachelorette things, if you like a little bit of drama, slash kind of a lot of drama, I recommend picking this up for the enjoyment factor alone. Next up, I picked up The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. This is volume 3. And it's Squirrel, You Really Got Me Now, and this is a cross-section with, superhero stuff, so it's got, Doombots, and it's got Dr. Doom, and it's got, without spoiling things, superheroes, and, I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I have been loving this series, so I highly recommend you check it out. Squirrel Girl is fantastic. She's a kick-butt female character that is not all about violence, and she's willing to talk out her problems, and she kind of just wants peace and to be a normal girl, but she has these awesome abilities, and she's got the might of a squirrel, and she's a great role model for girls, and she's in computer science, going to college, and I highly recommend checking this out. It is such a good, heartwarming comic book series, but I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave every other one a 5 out of 5 stars because time travel is not my forte. I don't like it. There's too many issues with it. There's why even mess with it, because it there's too many problems with time travel, and that is a sore spot for me in everything that I read. If it's got time travel, why? Why do you have to be dumb and do time travel? So needless to say, I got docked for that because I was not favored with the time travel aspect of it, and it was quite a bit of this chunk that was the time travel thing. But the series is still fantastic, and I really, really, really enjoyed the Howard the Duck stuff in this novel, so I really, like, that made up for the time travel. So I gave this one, again, a 4 out of 5 stars. If you haven't read Squirrel Girl, go check it out. You will not be sorry. It's fantastic. Next up, in the month of June, I read The Winner's Crime, and I am almost done with this. I've got less than 100 pages left. But I am gonna say, so I can't give you an overall rating, but I will say that this one has not been my favorite. I absolutely adored The Winner's Curse. Yes, The Winner's Curse. And I gave that one a 5 out of 5 stars. The chemistry on the pages were great. The mind-bending stuff that was going on in here was great. Like, the being able to be inside Kestrel's mind was fantastic, and the storyline and the plot were great. This really fell flat for me, and I went into this because I had such high expectations with it because Winner's Curse was so good. This one, the scene changed, and that's another thing that, like, it tweaks with me. Like, if I read it, it just, like, puts, like, a sour taste in my mouth because, just like time travel, like, when you have a series and you built a whole book on this world and a whole book with these characters, and when you go into book 2 and you change all of that, it's like starting a whole new book just with, like, familiar characters. So I wasn't a fan that some of the characters aren't together, and the scene, like, the entire scene has changed, and I get, like, that you have to have this big climax in book 1, and then book 2 you are doing more of, like, the building up for the big climax in book 3, but I've seen it done better. So I still am definitely planning on picking up book 3 because I do love, like, I'm still holding on to the hope that it's going to be like book 1 and it's going to be fantastic. This one, I am, like, pushing myself through. The other one, I like speed read. I read through it really fast, and this one I'm, like, dragging my feet through it. Like, it's pretty much taken me the whole month to read this, and they should be really fast reads because of the way that it's written, and I'm just hoping that book 3 is going to be better. Next up, I picked up in the month of June, but I am still reading, is Will of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. Now, this is a chunky book. And I'm listening to it on audiobook. This is another one that I don't know what it is about this series, but it's so easy for me to not be interested in it when I first start listening to it, and first, like, I'm not drawn to continue to listen to it at first, and I think it's because I think in the first book Brandon Sanderson was so focused on building the world and building the magic system, which is fantastic. But he was so focused on that I can't visualize the characters. I have no idea what they look like, to be honest, and I'm in book 2. And so I think the fact that I can't visualize the characters, it doesn't make me connect to them as much, and I am a big person who connects to the characters in books, and that's what draws me back to them. So the fact that I can't visualize them, it makes it a lot harder. So in this book, it did take me off to a slow start, but now I am listening to it almost every day, and I am back into enjoying it, and I'm finally, it takes me a while to get hooked in this series, but I'm, like, maybe like a third through, and I am now finally hooked into listening to it. So I do plan on finishing this one in the month of July. So those are all of my books that I read for the month of June. Not super great, but I did get some read. So kicking off the July, I plan on finishing my Will of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. And then with that, if I do finish that chunky book of Will of Ascension, I will pick up The Hero of Ages so I can finish off the trilogy. If you guys haven't seen what Mistborn is about, go check out my May TBR, and it will be in there. It's basically a really cool magic system that starts off with a heist, and now we're, like, into, like, more war stuff. And I've got quite a weird mixture of books that I'm planning on picking up in July, or that I might pick up. I'm kind of been wishy-washy on my books that I've been reading, so we will see how well this goes. So the first book that I want to definitely pick up, this is my only for sure book that I'm going to pick up besides Will of Ascension, and it's because we are in less than a week traveling to Hawaii to do like a family vacation out there, and we've got some family out there anyways, so I'm really excited to go out there and vacation and sit on the beach and read. I'm so excited, and I think this is going to be the perfect book to read, and it is Molokai. I got this a long time ago and I haven't read it yet. This is about a 7-year-old girl who lives in Hawaii, and she all of a sudden develops this red spot. So she gets exiled to the island of Molokai because she has leprosy. And I'm so excited to learn about this and her life with leprosy and her life in exile, and she thinks like her life's gonna be over because she's supposed to go die on this island that is separated from the rest of the world, and she's like, and it says that this is where her story just begins. So I'm excited to read this. I've heard such good reviews on this, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. Next up, I bet you guys all forgot that I even read this book, because I said that I was going to pick up the second book a long time ago, and I just haven't been motivated to. So I thought while I was on vacation, maybe if I separate myself from the rest of my books to choose from, I would pick up Unravel Me by Tahereh Mafi. You guys know I was not a big fan of Shatter Me, and Shatter Me has such a cult following, and I was so excited for it, and I think it's the writing that kind of killed it for me. Not that she's not talented. She writes in a very unique way, and I just don't think that appeals to me. It's very flowery and poetic, and I'm not quite used to that, so it pulled me out of the moment a bit. So I am going to pick up Unravel Me because you guys all said that it gets better and that the story really picks up from here, so I am going to give it a shot. I will eventually pick up Unravel Me, but this is on my maybe read for July. And last but not least, what I might be picking up is the first book in the House of Night series. This series has like a ton of books. It's got like 15 or 8 or something. It's got like a crazy amount. This was recommended to me a long time ago when I first started my channel, and one of my commenters commented that I should pick this up, and I bought it and I never picked it up. So this is, I just reread the back of it and I'm like, oh yeah, this totally sounds like me. So first of all, it's about vampires, but vampires are spelled wrong, and it's spelled with a Y, which is quite annoying, and hopefully I can bypass that. But this is about a girl who gets chosen to be transitioned into a vampire, but she has to survive the transition to be a full-fledged vampire, so she's going to school to become a vampire, it sounds like. But then, so they're inside of a school, so it's got the school settings and the vampires and magical powers, and that is all up my alley because I love everything. That's like my buzzwords. So I think that I will really enjoy this, and this is definitely on a to be picked up pretty dang soon. So those are all of my July pickups that I plan on maybe picking up. Let me know what is on your TBR, and if you guys had a good reading month. Hopefully you had a better reading month than I did. And that is all for my video. My battery's about to die, so I gotta get out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye! No! Why is it whenever my battery's dying, I can't do this fast? No! Oh, hardcore. Everything is falling. Your darn Hero of Ages book is too tiny. It's throwing everything off.
Yeah, well.
My battery is dying.
Bummer, dude.
I don't know. Oh my god. This is not working out.
So you really want to hurry up.
Now I'm trying. No! Killing me here. You put it backwards. Killing me. Killing the smalls. Nope, nope. Inside.
Why wouldn't you put the spines facing?
They have to click on the video to find out what they read. Stop! You brat.